All right, everybody, welcome back to the Austin Young Show. As you can probably hear, my voice is fucked, but my body is even more fucked. I am sat with Anthony, who was a part of the band that you just heard. That was Spector 45, I Love You. Anthony, how are you doing today? How is life?
Hey.
Wow.
Hey, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm really good, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come in today and, grace me with your presence, because I got to say, I'm a huge fan of the music that you used to make. You were in the band Spector 45 for about 10 years. Because obviously I can't talk about your present without kind of talking about the past, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was in a punk rock band for, I want to say, am I allowed to cuss, by the way?
Have you heard how many fucking bombs I've dropped already?
Jesus Christ. I mean, I know you just played that last song. I fucking love it. So, but no, so I was in a punk rock band, for, 10 years of my life. When I was in grade school, I met this guy, Frankie, and he had this bright red hair, and he was kind of unique. We were really not very good friends, second, third grade. We had the same teacher, talked shit about each other. In fact, he
what was like the worst thing you guys said about each other? That's some juicy shit.
Oh man, you can only imagine. I just I wasn't into Power Rangers. That's all that it came down to.
Fuck you, Green Ranger was life.
Look, they were virtual troopers, okay? You guys, or what was that other one? VR troopers? Was that what it was?
VR trooper. Oh man, I mean, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I can't remember, but I think 38.
Okay, so we're pretty much the same age.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, because I was like the first run of Power Rangers, and I remember having the bed sheets and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
and then,
yes.
And then like Power Rangers and space and all that shit.
Dude, and when you peed on it, it cleaned off the best. That's what I remember about those sheets. Yeah,
that and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
the best after you peed on. No, I'm just kidding. I digress. Holy shit.
I still pee on mine.
You know what? Now I have kids to pee on ours. So the problem is, like the old sheets, those Power Ranger sheets. Well, VR Troopers. Jesus Christ, where am I going here? Okay,
I don't know, but I'm really interested in this, to be honest with you.
We knew each other in grade school, and we were then later on. I was wanting to start a band with some friends. We were in the same neighborhood, and we ran into Frankie at a Blink-182 concert. We must have been 15 years old, 14 years old, and we had this band called Anthem. And we were like, I was just like, hey guys, this guy, he wants to play in our band. He's kind of nerdy. And Frankie, I think, went back and was like, hey, this fucking guy Anthony wants me to play in this band. He's just fucking asshole. You know what I mean? From grade school. And so lo and behold, we have our first band practice. And dude, it's fucking awesome. Me and Frankie just hit it off. You know what I mean? And it like rekindled right at the 7th grade or whatever the fuck it was.
So I just, sorry to interrupt, but I just got to ask, like, so did you guys kind of have, like, for those that, skipped forward and didn't listen to the song, you guys definitely have some, why have I lost Reverend Horton Heat vibes and stuff, and the whole rockabilly kind of thing. Was it originally like that, or is that what it morphed into?
That's a good question. So yeah, our musical taste and music changed throughout the years. So like, for instance, whenever we started with Anthem, we brought Frankie in, and that's when me and Frankie were like, we got super tight, and that was kind of like whiny AFI shit,
Okay.
And this is when none of our voices had changed, right? Our balls had barely dropped, right?
Yeah.
So you can hear songs of Frankie, and he's like, wake up in the morning, 12 after 3, and it's like, holy shit, how is this even something that you could listen to? And anyway, we stuck around and played together. Me and Frankie got tight. We played like the St. Bernard's Carnival, believe it or not, which is fucking nuts. Like, because we had a song called I Shot Santa.
Okay.
Right? And for some reason, they thought we were like Christian because of the song I Shot Santa. And Frankie wore this shirt that said Team Jesus or something. It was like
just
the punk rock shirt.
Yeah.
He ripped off, yeah. But these people paid. So like one of our first gigs was like St. Bernard's Carnival, right, with Anthem. But
Did
anyway,
they learn real quick what they had done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was just so like opposite of what was actually going on. Anyway, long story short, fast forward, we get in a band fight, right? And it's me and Frankie against Robin and Ryden, which friends to this day still, right?
Yeah.
And that was the end of Anthem. And then we started Spector 45. And gosh, that was a wild journey, like Frank
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 Senior.
Yeah, Frank
Frank
Senior,
Senior.
Frankie's dad. He's this big shot, right? He knows clubs, he knows art, he knows Deep Ellum, he knows how to get people connected. He basically was like, "Hey, man, I'll take you guys under my wing and show you guys the ropes. I'll get you in. We'll play some shows."
I mean, he used to book big names here in Deep Ellum back in the day.
Dude, big time. Yeah, yeah. He had and he used to live down here, right? Frankie grew up down here, like playing with God knows what in the streets. Instead of like toy cars, it might have been like broken bottles. I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, you can't really walk around Deep Ellum without seeing Frankie's dad's influence in terms of the murals and Kettle and all that. So
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
they,
all that.
they call him the Godfather of Deep Ellum for a reason.
So yeah, we were like 15 years old at that point, and we formed Spector 45. And a lot of people want to know like why Spector 45, especially nowadays. People are thinking it's Trump related, right? And it's like, no, holy shit, But I love that people ask about it because I can tell them what it's really about. But it was really about Phil Spector with a 45, and he actually didn't even use a 45. He used a 38. So it was kind of a mistake from the get-go, right? But we thought Spector 45 was a super catchy name, right? So we kind of went with that. But man, we played show after show. We probably played over 300 or 400 shows. We stopped counting, I think, after 300 in the 10-year duration of our band. We walked down here to Good Latimer, went to Good Records and played our CD release party, 16 with a Bullet.
Nice.
Everybody went down there with us. Yeah, man, and we proceeded to play. I think the last couple years we were doing extremely well. We were blowing up, right? We had won the Observer Music Awards 2 years in a row.
When I first moved to Dallas, you could not enter a room without hearing somebody talking about Spector 45. So it was kind of crazy. And then obviously, fast forward, tragedy struck.
Right. Yeah.
If you want to give it a recap real quick, if not, I'm cool to move on from it.
Yeah, man. So just kind of nutshell it. We were in our prime, and part of that, sex, drugs, rock and roll, a little bit of insanity, right? And Frankie wasn't doing well, man. One night, and he decided to take his own life, and we all knew kind of something was going on. Almost caught it. It really put a pretty bad ripple in our scene. And for the following several years, many people committed suicide, and that really called really brought an awakening to the community to do something about it, right? And about that time, a few years later, or I guess a couple months later, my bassist committed suicide. So it left me as the only surviving member, and I fucking went in and out of rehab trying to do shit. But man, finally, 4 years later, I started an organization called Foundation 45, which provides free therapy, and it was really initially started to provide free therapy for artists and musicians, creative people in Deep Ellum, right? Because we were small starting out. But it's really cool. It's now, I ran that for 4 years. Now it's been around for 8 years since then. It's
wow.
Helped, over 4,000 people have gotten free therapy.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, it's insane. Who would have thought? Back then, it wasn't really much of a thought, Well, you got to have insurance. Well, I mean, if you're a fucking, drug addict, you're going to spend your money on your drugs. You still need help. You still need to live.
For sure. And you still need a support network, which is one of the things about Foundation 45, because you guys are primarily group.
Right. So Foundation 45 they provide basically group therapy to up to, I want to say 10 to 12 individuals. It kind of depends. Whenever they get to that amount, they usually end up opening another night. So that, but yeah, and then they also have art therapy. And then they participate in a lot of outreach programs whenever people ask for help, things like that. They participate. I know that Lauren, she's the current president. You
can actually check back a couple episodes. Well, probably about 10 episodes ago, Lauren was on the show. If you want more information on her, definitely go and check that interview out.
Yeah, definitely. Lauren did a Narcan happy hour, which is really some awesome cutting edge stuff. and the Remix Recovery Group. They also have a substance abuse group. So, yep.
And you guys also do virtual group too, don't you?
Yeah, that's one of the best things about Foundation 45 is that the groups are virtual and in person, right? You have the Sunday groups that are in person, but you're able to reach so many more people now, making it essentially statewide. Anybody in Austin can hop on a group at any time just from their phone. They can be on a toilet, turn their camera off, don't even say your name. It can be completely anonymous. The point is you get connected with professional therapists that can help.
Got it. And one of the things I kind of want to go back to is you didn't walk away from the charity for a while, but I believe you kind of you realized you kind of had to leave for a little while for it to grow? Like, 'cause there was a while where you kind of stopped being the face of Foundation 45.
Yeah, the funny thing is you say, like, stop being the face of Foundation 45. Like, gosh, it's like the face of Foundation 45 really needs to be the community. It can't and shouldn't be me or an individual, right? And I feel real strongly about that, and I've always felt strongly about that. The problem is, when we first started, when it was just one group, and we had nobody coming, right? It needed a catalyst to really kind of rein in, hey, this is here, trust me, it's trustworthy, this is here to help, And now it's at the point where it really needs to grow. You know what I mean? But it's never been, about me. What the beautiful thing about Foundation 45 is and what it took to create, it was incredibly simple. And I can tell you exactly how it happened. It's a beautiful story. And it's one that you out there or you, Austin, probably can relate to. Somebody called me when I was walking around Deep Ellum, right? I was pissed off. The stickers from the memorial where we had raised a shit ton of money were disappearing off windows because people were scraping them off.
Yep.
They didn't know what it was about.
Or painting over the murals on the buildings, all that kind of stuff.
And I'm thinking, 13 fucking people have died. I just lost my friend Jeremy Gomez. I'm angry. And so I fucking said on Facebook, I said, motherfucker, I'm angry. And then somebody called me out and said, why don't you fucking do something about it? And then I got a phone call from a friend, Amanda War, and she said, we need to do something. And then I called one friend and another friend. That was it. And we just called another friend. Hey, we want to do something about this. Hey, we want to do something about this. Hey, we want to do something about this. And we just worked together. It was really beautiful. And it was a community. I mean, and I'm just so proud. Early on, it was really touch and go because you don't have much money, right? And I'm not saying that they have a lot of money now.
No, yeah.
Yeah. But like you got to pay the
You mean
counselors.
you're not driving a Rolls Royce to this interview?
Man, nonprofit, right? It was never about money. I never took a penny from it, never will. But it's so but when it's early on, it's touch and go. So you have to control who you serve. Right? So we targeted artists and musicians and creatives, but we were always helping everybody. You know what I mean? Whether you go through one issue or another. But one thing I love about Foundation 45 now that we didn't achieve back then was a focus on everyone. Because, when you look, and that's a change that I couldn't do as a bandmate. As a white man, playing rock and roll, punk rock. When I was struggling and I went into the service centers to get food or to ride my bike or get pizza at a free church, the people that needed help weren't a bunch of fucking, it wasn't 100% white. It was a huge demographic of people that needed help. And that's always bothered me, is that it's tied to this one thing when it really needs to be really what it is helping everybody.
I mean, because if you think about
really
a lot of people that need mental health, a big part of America is the service industry. And most service industry jobs have zero to no healthcare, let alone mental health care. So to be able to access something like that for free, I mean, I know you can never put a number on it, but you guys must be saving at least 100 to 200 lives a year just by doing that.
Man, I could, it's always a funny question. You never know about how many people you save, you don't get that reward from this, but people do come up and say, holy shit, you saved my life, or this organization saved my life, or this did that, but it's just one of those things. But yeah, I mean, back onto what I was saying. What was I saying? Shit.
Talking about how you were expanding it. Man, it happens to the best of us. This is why we pre-record.
Yeah. But no, yeah. I can't fucking. Oh yeah, expanding it to yeah. So yeah, you can't really. So here, I'll put it to you like this. Like, take this example, and this is something that is just so obvious if you do it. Take some flyers and go market them to where people need help, where people don't have money, where people are broke, where people are overdosing. Go to the courts, Dallas court system, the probation system, the places that serve those people. Those are the people that we're here to serve, because we give a free quality service, right? So when you look at those people, right, and I say those people being people that are at that level in life, it's not a bunch of fucking rock and rollers. It's just our demographic of society. And then when you look at the people that we're actually helping, right, at the groups, when you do the surveys that they do, and I've looked at the data, it's everybody. And that's, I am so proud of that, because for so long it was very focused, but now they've grown. It has legs, and it can help pretty much anybody across the state of Texas. And one thing that bothers me, right, and I got to tell you this, is that nobody's really copied it.
That is weird. That is actually really weird.
It's 8 years old. You ever wonder why?
Do you think it's just, well, I wouldn't say legality, but like, I know it's expensive. It's not cheap to hire therapists.
But think about the number of people you're helping per therapist.
That's true.
Let's say, what does it cost? Let's say between $80 and $150 to help 12 people.
That's pretty cheap when you do the breakdown, actually.
Who's going to pay for it? Anybody can pay for it. I could pay for it out of my own personal pocket.
Well,
right?
Maybe if we didn't start wars everywhere, we wouldn't have to, we'd have money to pay for this kind of thing.
Exactly. I don't know why the insurance companies aren't coughing it up. I don't know. Maybe it's out there. Maybe it is being copied.
Why aren't life insurance? Like,
why aren't veterans awareness groups just saying, hey, we'll hire the therapist. Here we go. The insurance isn't that much. 8 years. And so recently coming back and helping out with Foundation 45 and pushing and promoting their stuff and pushing and promoting some of my own stuff and trying to really help the world again. I've noticed some of these just stupid gaps. And I got to tell you, I'm a little bit, not too much of a conspiracy theorist, but I got to think,
no,
it's got to be about money.
Band member into conspiracy,
dude.
Never would have guessed it.
Listen. Money drives everything, right? If there's no money in it, which there isn't, then that's probably why it's not happening.
For sure. That's why, most of the good in the world doesn't come from governments or comes from people that want to make a change.
Yeah, it puts so much pressure on people like you and I, right? And you got to tell people in the world about what's going on. I'm the kind of guy that says, okay, guys, let's get together. Let's do this. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, so one of the beautiful things is, like, I started this, organized effort to help connect people. After COVID, everybody was so disconnected. Nobody wanted to talk to each other. We all basically went through PTSD. We all have PTSD now, thanks to COVID, right?
Yes.
I don't know if there's a single person in the world that didn't contemplate whether they were going to live or die in the next 2 or 3 months. And that's not something I planned on thinking about too much, right?
I can't tell you how many times I Googled, is it COVID or allergies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit. So we've got this, like, fucked up world, right? Where a lot of people are having a hard time coming together, working, getting back into it, and stuff like that. And people are taking their eyes off the ball. You know what I mean? Where people need to focus and come together, it needs to start happening, And so I was connecting with these different organizations like Parkland, putting up posters there. Hey, I'm in there in my scrubs, my shoes, right, man, or my freaking pretty much my whatever I wake up in, and people are like shaking my hand. Oh my God, thank you for doing this. And then I'm starting to connect people, and then I start doing it again and again, and then I form a group. And the reason why I formed this group, I want to backtrack a little bit, is because I talked to this gentleman named Tim Grigsby. He happens to be the executive director of the Dallas 24 Hour Club. And I said, man, what's going on? What's going on with people, man? Doesn't anybody want to give back? And he's like, man, something happened during COVID. He's like, but there was a moment of pure bliss where the city of Dallas forced everybody to get together and literally hide under a bunker and figure out some of the world's Dallas's toughest issues, like helping the homeless people stay safe during that time, or whatever it may be. And he's like, it was just super effective. They cut through the red tape, and that because of that, it was amazing. He's like, now it's just a ton of red tape and this, that, and the other decisions, people's opinions here, there, and the other. And it's like, okay, so what do we do? So, the idea, and this is what I've been working on in the last few months, is basically putting together the heads of different organizations, people like from Parkland, who I work with now, people from Dallas 24 Hour Club, who I work with.
So it's like a United Nations
Yeah.
of nonprofits.
Exactly. Basically get it, 10 to 12 heads, hash out some of the shit they've been ignoring for a long time. Let's stop ignoring it.
It's basically like a problem-solving summit.
That's it.
Once
a month.
This is amazing. We are going to take a quick break, guys. We will be right back. This is Teenage Plague by Spector 45. Welcome back. That was Teenage Plague. And for the hell of it, I threw in Noogie, which I am going to talk about something real quick. As a member of Spector 45, how did it feel for Noogie to cover one of y'all's songs?
Oh, shit, man. I hope more people cover our music.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool to know that. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, man. I'm not an airhead. I just have a lot of shit going on in my mind, so I may have been told and just forgotten about it. But man, it's like through the years, it's been an honor to have people, different folks cover different songs. You know what I mean? It's always awesome to hear it.
I mean, you guys were a big part of a lot of people. Sorry, my voice is breaking from that, but you're a big part of a lot of people's lives, like, whether you like it or not. And that kind of leads me to one of my next questions. Before we talk about the new item that you got on the Narcan machines, what I really want to know is, it's how it's been over 10 years now. Like, do you miss playing? Like, do you miss being in a band?
Yeah, that's a funny question. It's kind of a loaded. I mean, how do you think about? Like for me, God, I had like a one band thing for so long. Like me and playing with Spector. So it was 10 years of my life. We didn't like cheat on each other that much. You know what I mean? That just was kind of the way we were. You hear about those bands, those garage bands are very rare. Usually bands are put together by a bunch of record labels, or a bunch of people that knew each other and they meet later in life. But we kind of grew up together. So I grew up following a guitarist. So that makes it really hard for me and bassists.
Yeah.
We went through about, quite a few bassists. But yeah, man, to connect with a brother on that level, it's your family. You think that it's your whole life and it's what you're going to do for the rest of your life. And to try and place that somewhere else is awkward. I did end up joining and playing in another band or a few after that, and I still jam and still play, but it's not the same, there's nothing better than going on tour. There's nothing better than being with your brothers wild and free and having fun. I mean, I can equate it to now with live. I pretty much take my family on tour with me everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Life's an adventure. I live differently because I was a musician and went on tour and played so many fucking shows. Like I look at everything like with this like comical, fun thing. Typically, everything's kind of a joke. Got to stop at this weird gas station, whatever the fuck it might be.
Yeah.
Talk to this strange person for no reason at all because, well, they don't need to buy a shirt or a CD now, but let's just talk to him anyway, But yeah, so I still play, but yeah, it hadn't been the same yet, man.
I just wasn't sure, like,
yeah.
Do you miss people shouting your songs back to you and all that, like, or has it
Dude,
almost kind of left a little bit of a stain on everything?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's left a pretty big scar on everything. Do I still have an ego and love playing shows and showing people up and saying I'm fucking better than that guy? Hell yeah, man. So I've played some fucking rockin' shows since then. You know what I mean? But there was something special about Spector 45 and what we were doing.
For sure.
We and I think it was because we wrote it together at such a time when we were just a bunch just young punks going through a lot of bad shit, right? I was going through a lot of bad shit as a kid. Frankie was too,
Drugs fucking suck, man.
Just shit, not even that. I'm talking about when we were like fucking kids, man. You know what I mean? Why do you think we listen to the lyrics, man? We were writing that shit when we were 15. We were going through some stuff. So, music and playing music unified us, kept us together, kept us probably alive. I know at least on one occasion it saved somebody's life during our, tenure as a band. We even with Frankie, so. But anyway, but man, I think that if it, what's funny is I've learned is that if it's somebody that I used to play with before that time period, it's fine.
Yeah.
So like Robin, who was one of our rhythm guitarists, man, I have no problem playing with him. I'm like, I could be naked and fine. That's the level of comfort.
Is Robin okay with that?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure. I grew up with him, but so it's a fucking weird thing, and I don't know why that is.
Let's go into the future now. We talked about your present and what you're doing now. You're building Narcan machines.
One of the things that I saw that was the easiest way to make a difference was with Narcan machines and giving out free Narcan. So for those of you that haven't heard of Narcan before, it's a life-saving medication. It has an 80% effectiveness rate of reversing any opioid overdose. But it's hella expensive, right?
It's like $80 for 2 doses or something like
Dude,
that.
It's a ton of money, right? But there's a ton of organizations out there that give it away for free, right? But it needs to be into people's hands.
Now, quick question, because you are Texas-based, doesn't Texas have like a big wank with Narcan? Like they kind of try to make it hard to get it, or is that not? Or is it the fentanyl testing strips that they're kind of being assholes about?
I don't know, man. It's been easy to get Narcan here. Okay. The biggest deal is that just supply and demand, and I think, that's probably some of the stigma. You can go pretty much to any of these these places and get Narcan. Somebody's going to have some on hand at these help places like the social services. The Narcan vending machines. This is something I read about online, and it was something somebody started up north.
Okay.
Right? Initially, and it had tremendous success. I think it may have been in Kentucky. And within the first day, all the Narcan was gone. It's like, holy crap. Genius.
So it's needed.
It's needed.
It's definitely needed.
And I'm like, and I've got a lot of friends in Deep Ellum right now and that need help and work, right? And there's a lot of freaking vending machines out there that nobody has change for.
Well,
so I was just like, let's see how possible this is. So I did my research, and I looked online. I got a freaking vending machine from the 60s for $5.
No shit. Still working?
Still working. Well, I had to break it.
But that's kind of cool. And I like what you've done. So I'll have pictures of it on my Facebook or Instagram if anybody wants to see what these look like. Now, you have customized these machines to look cool as shit. Like, can you tell me about who the artist is behind that?
Yeah, so, I want to just kind of point out, I have customized it, yeah. The whole point of this organization, Conscience Conduit, is to be able to give back to the community in a number of ways, right? One is through, recycling, things or helping the community with struggles, or even like helping serve the arts community, right?
Okay.
So each one of these Narcan machines we're paying artists to do them, right?
That's cool.
We're paying people to take care of, the breaking of them. I started calling up people, and I was like, hey, do you want to be on this project with me? And I get a hold of Tyson. Now, if you don't know Tyson Summers, he's a graphic artist in the Deep Ellum area. He's been around for years. He also does car wraps, and he was the guy that the day after Frankie passed away, my lead singer, he did the Heart 45 sticker, the original design. That night he did it. I was like, hey, man, I've got this idea. I want to go for it. It's been done here. It's been done there, but it's not being done enough, right? We need Narcan vending machines. He's like, dude, yeah, let's do it. And then I got with Kaya Beggs, and she's one of probably the top 2 best graphic artists that I've seen.
The punk flyers she used to do for 3 Links and all those other places were just chef's kiss.
I don't even know how we can afford to work with her unless she's giving me some sort of like crazy discount. But anyway, so we got with Kaya Beggs, and they mashed their heads together and put this crazy ass wrap. You guys have to come see it. You have to check it out.
Where's it located?
It's located right now at the Deep Ellum Community Center.
Where we're recording.
Yes. Hey, so come by, check it out. But you can also check it out on my website or on the Deep Ellum website.
But if you do decide to come to the Deep Ellum Community Center, it is open Wednesdays through Sundays, I believe 12 to 7. So come on in, check it out. If you need Narcan, there is free Narcan available in it. Now,
I want to tell you about the darks.
The what?
The dark moments and the Narcan
moments.
Experiences.
Oh, okay.
The dark ventures. But it may not be interesting. I don't even know.
No, I want to hear this.
Dude, I've got to tell you
about this. As long as
this.
Kenny doesn't kick us out right now, I'm good.
Oh, shit. I think we're good. Yeah. So I didn't really know what I was getting into. Like, so like I said, Narcan's free, so you got to find it. It's always running out.
Yeah.
Like, its supplies are drying up. It's like this dark underworld, right? And you've got all these sketchy characters, right? And then you've got some heroes, right, that are in capes that you never see. It's mysterious. The one hero I want to tell you guys about is this girl named M. Gray.
Okay.
So she's the girl that taught me everything I know about Narcan and Narcan vending machines here. She's also known as the Narcan Queen in Texas.
That is one hell of a title right there.
So originally, I intended to do this with her. I got the machines together. I got the stamps out, started stamping things. She's talking me through it. She's kind of this character that's like, I don't know, she's kind of mean. Okay. But like mean like a loving grandmother. Got it. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to tell you it's not going to work. And good job.
Back in the neighborhood I grew up in, I grew up in a very Jewish neighborhood. That sounds like a bobby.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like point blank told me some of the stuff that she's discovered. She's like, listen, this needs to be where people are using drugs. This needs to be not about an anti-drug campaign. Mm. And she said, this isn't about police. This isn't about that. This is about this.
Or photo ops.
And she's like, and I can't be involved in what you're doing. But she's like, I want you to keep doing what you're doing.
Interesting.
And I was like, why? And it was because I was working with the police on another side project.
Oh.
And it just blew my mind. So it's interesting, and I think it says a lot about why it's important for people to stand up. Talk to people about, okay, is somebody doing this? Okay, how do I do this? Okay, you're doing Narcan? Oh shit, you're not helping these people out. So the police officers that I was working with, the funny thing is, it's through Conscience Conduit again, and through a customer of mine separately through my Market Head Media business, they had about 4 police officers that had committed suicide out there. And look, I have been to jail many times, okay? But at the same time, I know what it takes to help somebody. So when my customer told me about it, he was like, can we do something? He knew about 45 and all that and what I'd done with Foundation 45. I was like, hell yeah, we can do something. So we set up a group out there. And we also brought the Narcan vending machines out there. And they were blown away. And you're not going to believe it, but their police department had 0 Narcan.
I believe it, to be honest with you.
They are on the corridor of McAllen, basically the corridor for drug trafficking.
In the valley.
They had 0 Narcan. And so we supplied their entire department with Narcan.
I'm sure that saves hundreds of lives too.
Dude, it's just it's awesome. But the problem is like they can get it themselves. They just have to fill out this form. You know what I mean? But the simple small actions that I took to do that and that we took as an organization to do that made a huge impact. And I think in the experiences that I've had then because of it, like going down to the state capitol and talking to this SWAT guy that talked to me about PTSD, that talked to me about, hey, I need you to talk to this guy that does this veteran so your veteran group is good. Those experiences in the last 6 months are incredible.
And it only helps grow because the more connections you make, the better it is. Now, what is y'all's plan for getting these machines to the places where people are using drugs? Such as like, I mean, I know it sounds weird, but you know, it's not like most people are doing drugs in a community center right here.
Right.
So like, how do you get it to the underpasses, the you know, the party houses, how do you get it in front of the people that are using it?
Hey, listen, I don't discriminate. There's probably a ton of different ways to get it anywhere and everywhere. But, my goal would be to inspire people, right? To do this, to copycat, to do whatever they can. I want to get one. And, obviously we're putting one in Reno's. A lot of people going there. That's Deep Ellum Central for, partying. We'll just say it in a nice way.
There's a whole Facebook page, joke page about it.
Okay, good. At least it's public now.
Everyone knows.
Of course, yeah. So there's that. And then also we're going to be trying to put the other one in APA, which is Association of People Affected by Addiction here. And they've been doing some, basically they get fed all the people that are having issues with addiction from the city of Dallas criminal department. They have to go through this program. And I went through it, and it's actually pretty damn good. So we're going to have one there. And, getting it in front of the people that are at high risk is really the top priority. Also getting it into Houston. So they've got them in Austin with what M. Gray's doing. Mm-hmm. But we've got them in Dallas now. Get them into Houston. There's some interest in Oklahoma now. There's also somebody that I talked to in New Mexico. And listen, you know how much money it costs to do this?
I mean, the cost of the vending machine, I imagine, right? And
that's it.
Yeah.
$5 and, maybe $40 here, $40 there. That's it. So, but there aren't, the idea would be to sell these, right? To be able to give back to the community, to stimulate the community so that Kaya can get paid, so that Tyson can get paid, so that I can get paid for, having to drive around and replenish all these.
Gas ain't fucking cheap.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize too is how much fentanyl has creeped into everything.
Dude.
It used to be that you wanted opiate users to have Narcan, but now it's in cocaine, it's in Molly, it's in everything. Like, I'm scared to take fun drugs right now because I don't know what fentanyl's getting put into. Yeah. So it's literally ruined recreational drug taking for the fun of it. And so this is something that college kids need to have on hand. This is something that, not just drug addicts need to have on hand. Like, this should be something that you just carry in a first aid kit with you.
Agreed, yeah.
With all that happening, you have kids now.
Yeah.
They come to you and they say, hey, man, hey, daddy-o, whatever your kids call you, I want to start a charity, or I want to start a band, or I want to open a home improvement store. What's the advice you give to them?
Oh, man. You fucking crazy? No, I'm just kidding. Dude, I mean, I would be honored. It's not even like I have to give them that advice. It's like what they want to do, right? Because I'm doing it today. And I've got a drum set in my house. My son, when he gets pissed off at me, he goes in there and beats the shit out of my drums. That's what you're supposed to do.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, and my kids, it's so funny, because listen, suicide is a scary word, right? For some people, right? It's scary for me to talk. Like, what am I going to do? It was a big part of the worst part of my life, right? And has still continued to be. Am I going to hide that from my kids? No. So, I can't.
But when you say you're kind of turning it
But
into a better part of your life,
yeah, it's a better part of my life. So, like, I started rejecting the idea of, like, hiding it from my kids,
okay.
And now they're, like, so proud. They're like, Daddy, you started this? And I was like, yeah, this is what your dad did. And they're like, the most proud I've ever been is, like, seeing how proud my kids are of what I did. It's like, that's a big deal. So I would totally tell them to do it, and we'd probably do it together.
But, like, I guess to get more into it, it's like, what is the one thing you did that you were like, oh, I wish I could go back and change that and do that differently in terms of, either starting Foundation 45, if there was one thing that you were like, damn, I wish we would have done that a little differently or something that, could kind of give your kid a leg up,
I'd say, make sure you do it with, your best friend, right? You've got one tight guy in there with you, because you're going to form a friendship for years that might get you out of a bind or you might need it. I don't know,
No, that's perfect. Like,
but
honestly, no one's ever said that. So
that's kind of, I've made some of the most meaningful relationships through music, and, that's really what it's about. It's like the community that you connect with, and those memories that you have and you hold on to, and the bond that you have whenever you can psychically feel what someone else is about to play, right? That's kind of what happens.
So for you, it's like, it's the brotherhood.
It's so much of the brotherhood. It's the family that I didn't really have, that was broken up when I was younger, that I was able to create as a musician, right? With my bandmates. So,
and have you gotten that with, like, people like with Lauren and stuff that is now the current president of Foundation 45? Like, are you now working with people like Kaya and all them that you're kind of like, okay, these are awesome fucking people that I know I can trust? And
dude, right now I'm actually, like, kind of in a, how do you say it, like a nervous point where I'm trying to start trusting people. You know what I mean? And so the answer is yes. I am, like, feeling out my new family, right, in the creative community. But I'm a little nervous too. Dude, my dream team. I'm working with my dream team right now. I'm nervous as fuck, but I think I'm actually pretty good at it, and we're doing a really good job.
Are you saying, like, you almost feel like you have, like, a little bit of imposter syndrome or something? Or?
No, I'm just nervous that it's not going to fucking work out for whatever reason. I'm like, holy shit, is this really happening? And I'm like, oh my god, that it's a really cool feeling. Yeah, and it's like, for me, the dream would be to get the entire community together, working together, because we can all help each other, rise each other up. It's so easy.
It is hard because artists have a lot of egos, so sometimes it's hard trying to play the ego game too.
But if you're here to support one another, it's good. Like, dude, I will make your website tomorrow. I mean, not literally tomorrow, but like, I'm here to help, man. You guys helped me, dude. So many people helped us. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. It's a dream.
Your music helped me.
Yeah,
I mean, Fire and Ice.
Oh yeah, dude.
Love that fucking song. Teenage Plague. Like, going off back to it. So I usually play 3 songs. What is your favorite? Like, what is your favorite one that you've ever made?
Oh, dude. My favorite song was a song that I actually never played.
Okay.
And it was a song called "Dreaming Is Not Enough." Have you heard it before?
That's on the, I forget the album title, but it's the 3 of you, like, with the car, or kind of the.
No, man. It was a cut that Frankie put out. And I didn't hear it until after he passed away. And dude, it was the most beautiful song I've ever heard.
I've never heard it.
When you hear it, listen to the lyrics. Sit down. It's eerie. But yeah, that's my favorite.
Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I can get a copy of it for you.
Would you mind if we play that as the last song of the show?
Yeah, man, but I'm not sure if I have to make sure it's okay to play on the air. I don't know if it's been played before.
If you don't mind, what's it about?
Dude, it is a fantasy thought process about Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay.
And dying and taking their own lives. And for me, it really encapsulates where Frankie was at. And probably his true heart, as like a bleeding artist. And not that I love that, it's a beautiful song, but I think it's very truthful to Frankie's music, and I say that separately from me because
you say Frankie's
I want to honor
music,
him.
But it's your music too.
Yeah, but not this one.
Not that one.
And that's my favorite song, and it's a song that I should have been on, and I didn't get to play on, but it's beautiful. With our music, on the other hand, holy shit, man, there's some fucking awesome songs.
And for nobody that's just sat and listened, just go and listen to Spector 45. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, dude, we had a lot of energy.
My wife was the one that
the Gauntlet.
Me.
Oh,
that's
probably
okay.
That one or El Rey.
El Rey. All right, flip a coin. Which one is it, buddy?
El Rey.
All right, guys. If you want more, where can people find you again?
In a town that doesn't exist called El Rey, south of the border.
Nice. But spit out your socials for your charities real quick, and we're going to get out of here, buddy.
Yeah, man. Hey, check it out. ConsciousConduit.org, and then also Conscious Conduit on Facebook, as well as Foundation45.org, as well as Foundation45 on Facebook and Instagram.
And you can still find Spector 45 streaming on Amazon Music, iTunes, and all of that jazz. Still one of the one bands I regret I never got to see live. I came in afterwards. But guys, check out the body of work. Check out everything that Anthony has done. He has an amazing soul, and Deep Ellum is truly lucky to have him. Man, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you.
Hey, dude, thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
All right, pick it up, Dallas.